works out differently for everybody because the level of opponents on show is all will also determine how you play this one. Well, quite interesting formation for Omoeko here. Not one that we see 4-1-4-1. If I'm right for this one for Omoeko, is it the formation we've experimented with?
Yeah, I've experimented with 4-1-4-1, but it's just like 4-5-1. It's just that you have a sitting DM now instead of the flat 3 CMs. But I think the issue I'm looking at right now is the inside forward attack, both wings. That means the wingers will not drop back to help in defense.
Quite interesting for you to even, as you call the wingers there, we are not seeing Vinicius Junior for Omoeko.
Like you said, everybody has their style of their
No,
kind
no,
of
no.
players.
You see, there are certain things that you need to say maybe they are outrageous sometimes. Because I know he's playing at Agula in a position where he's not used to. He doesn't have a player role for that role itself.
I think what he's looking at is big foot on the left.
Okay.
So Adegula, he's left-footed, so he's putting him on the left. But for this game, I feel the weak foot should be on the other side because of finesse. You understand? Cut back or cut inside and finesse. But I think the most outrageous thing you will see is if he's not using Mbappe.
No, he's using Mbappe.
Exactly.
He's using Mbappe. There are a lot of very, very interesting picks that he did there because we're also seeing him using Ceballos in the midfield for him. So I think he doesn't really want to have too much of a big midfield. But we're about to come to the 4-5-1 that you're talking about. For me, I feel that the 4-5-1 is only effective for me when I have smaller players in that midfield. Once I'm using a team that has bulky players, it's very, very difficult for me to operate to the 4-5-1. But I don't know if you have a different opinion on that.
Well, if I'm using the 4-1-4-1, normally I don't like using big CMs.
Yeah.
But if I'm using the 4-1-4-1, I would put a big CM in the DM role. But in the 4-5-1, I would use all smalls.
Yeah. That's good because Barcelona team is actually one I've been actually experimenting with recently. I moved away from them for a while to use the France team, but right now I think the 4-5-1 is what I'm going to be because I have my two midfielders. That will be Pedri and De Jong on deep line playmaker. While the other person, most like Omo or Heung-min on box to box.
Well, that makes sense, but I don't know. I don't like the deep line playmaker role.
No,
I hardly use it except I'm playing 4-2-3-1 wide.
Okay.
Where there are two DMs,
Yeah.
then you have no choice. But in CM rules, I always use box to box. Always. I had
three of them are box to box.
Yes.
Wow.
But if I want to defend, then I'll play the middle on holding. But let's see because we've been talking bad about his.
Let's see how effective is that.
Exactly.
Oh, Rodrigo on the other end. That man we're talking about. Kamavinga, Valverde.
Offside. Wow.
Okay.
Well, he started really good.
I think right now, OverdoseAddict has been able to ride the wave of that kickoff goal that might have happened.
So yeah, exactly. I always consider against kickoff. I usually, anytime there's a kickoff, I just put on my team press immediately.
One thing I'll even commend you for your game against Mr. Olga was the way you were using the partial press. It was very, very effective for you because you knew exactly where you need to be effective in. So you are not using the second man press to just drag out your players out of position at that one. So I think your defensive side has actually been something that has actually improved compared to last season, if I may say.
Well, I've been playing with Vichel, so obviously to improve.
Yes, so the ultimate champion from last season. That man Mitchell already booking his slot in episode 2 against this man boy in that final. Very, very entertaining final. 5-4 the scoreline. That one ended. But Rashford, finesse should have been the one-up champion at that point.
He took too many touches there. He should have just taken one touch, then finesse immediately.
We'll be bringing the other goal rush on the matches happening right there. That man, the first goal, Omoeko.
That is the reason why.
With the face.
That's the reason why you should play a striker in your team. You know, I was talking about Barcelona team when they are using Rashford always, but with Lewandowski, you know, most of your shots are goals.
But again, if you're someone that does the whole twisting and turning, I do also see why they don't go for Lewandowski as a obvious choice as your 9. But no, normally, if you tell a coach that I'm benching Lewandowski, it will be like, oh, Lewandowski. No. But let's see what's happening with Omoeko on this one. I think maybe he's complaining about his settings.
Oh,
Not setting up something right.
probably he didn't check it before he entered the game.
It's going to be quite funny if it doesn't actually change anything, because
I don't think. Okay.
close. I think everything is quite right for him.
Probably he's just cross checking.
You know when you concede, you have to look for something to blame at that moment.
Exactly.
But let's see, it's on the other end of the attack.
Big game as a-
Winning matters in the end. That's what we have to say here. From the commentary, but it's Boyd with me. But this man, Omoeko, will be looking to get that equalizing goal to get back into this game. Good use of the team press. Good marking.
Nice.
Wow, Ceballos going for the near post. But Chesney with the footwork right here, blocking that low-driven effort into the post. Speaking about low-driven efforts, one person that is here today also to compete is that man Tactical. We do know how he is speaking about the K-League that we mentioned before. We still see him doing a lot of net post low-driven shots. So that's one thing that man has really been able to master into his game to get those kind of goals. And any opponent who comes up against him today will be very we look to actually even counter that to make sure that they don't concede that one.
Yeah, one thing about Tactical is that his attack is just honestly unstoppable. Yeah. And if you're not good at defending, or if you cannot attack as he does, then I don't think you can beat him.
I can tell you an update in that one. Speaking about Tactical, it's currently 5-2 the scoreline against King Dirty. Why Novice? I can tell you that one is currently defeating that man David.
6-0.
6-0 the scoreline. Novice against David. I didn't stutter with that one. It's 6-0 to Novice.
I think he lost his first game and probably entered beast mode.
he actually needs to with this win, because I think maybe he drew his second game. So
wow.
Yeah, he drew his second game. So he will be looking to actually, this win will be very important for him, especially with the scoreline. But that man David will also be looking at the goal difference, that I mustn't concede too much so that I'm not knocked out. Lewandowski at the other end going on. Can this be another one? Near post! Oh! It goes on the luxury shot. Overdose going with the overall goals.
I know I shouldn't be rooting for anyone, but I actually want him to win because of the 4-4-2 formation he's using.
Justifying the pick of the 4-4-2.
And this is a long way back for Omoeko.
But for me, as much as I don't like him in the game, Ferran Torres, one thing I would have done using on the 4-4-2 is actually playing a small man instead of two big men, two lengthy men up front. Because I've seen Rashford and that man Lewandowski up front for this, for OverdoseAddict.
Well, everyone, because when I play Mitchell, he always uses lengthy everywhere. But for me, I don't like using lengthy. I prefer using explosive players who can easily turn around and move, you understand? So I wouldn't use Lewandowski either. I would find maybe a shorter player. I think Heung-min can play striker. I think so.
Yeah, Heung-min can also play a false nine.
So I'll play him up front.
Speaking about updates from the goal rush, I can also tell you that Baji Jr. is currently leading that one 2-1 against the
Tough road. Baji Jr.
Baji Jr. looking to claim his slot at the Night of Champions. The stage you actually even get out in the at the journeyman will also impact your standings and the overall season, because if you are getting knocked out, even you win a champion last season, except you win an episode, if you are getting knocked out early on in any of the rounds, you might not even be in the team of the season.
Exactly.
So that would be another thing that needs to be on the mind of these gamers. But I can also give you another one. King Arans currently leading 2-0 against Blinks. That man Blinks doesn't know what's happening. During the twinkle of an eye, is down 2 goals against King Arans.
I remember when Arans first came to PSM, his first tournament. His first match was on the main event. His hands were shaking.
The main event is very interesting, because players that you think that okay, they will eventually do the job, they eventually just come out and they're telling you that they don't know what happened. We saw that game for Toxic Griddle. Well, we've also seen that one in the last episode where Protagonist also lost his game. A game that was favourites in that one, losing 3-2 in the end.
Even me against I've forgotten his name, where I almost lost, but he kept on missing and missing and missing.
Yeah, that was Gemae Young. That man, it's a match of misses for Gemae Young in that one. But this man, Omoeko losing the ball at the back. Oh, Rafinha!
I feel he should have done low dribbling with Rafinha there. Should have just kept on going.
No, even had the chance to do low dribbling finesse with Lewandowski in that point.
But that was a nice attack.
Rafinha at the other end, twisting and turning. This man, Omoeko needs to put on his team press at that moment to take
wow. Wow, I've never seen this before. Nice game management.
I don't think it's game management. I think he just wanted Omoeko to come out at that point because he was just staying back at throughout that attack. Lewandowski, not a lot of player locks from Omoeko in this one. But Mbappe! Oh, lot of an effort. But Szczesny coming up clutch. That man, OverdoseAddict, going with Szczesny ahead of John Garcia. We were speaking about the World Cup, but I did say we have a new show and it's been uploaded on YouTube. It's that one before the whistle, where we simulate matches through the World Game feature that has been introduced. Because we know some of the teams like Brazil were not in the game before, but now with this update, that team has been added to it. Just like we saw before, and when it was still FIFA 18, where the World Cup mode was infected. The World Game is what has been used right now to combat the lack of the World Cup being used due to the licensing issue we had with EA. And another one finesse! Oh, what a pass! Line breaking!
This is what I was talking about, the 4-4-2 attack. Very fluid.
It's OverdoseAddict. Has been an overflow of goals. It's looking like this man is addicted to scoring goals. And 3 goals is what's the scoreline right now. Carreras winning that one high up. How did I always say? It's still shocking to me. Because at this point, if another person watching this game will say, you know, using Vinicius was the reason why you lost.
I don't think so.
I'm not saying what that man Adagula is doing so much for this Madrid team up front there.
True.
Oh, what a play! Oh. Patience.
That was a nice vision there. That was nice vision. So many bodies up front.
You see, at this point, you're seeing the perfect use of removing your hand from the R1. Once you are able to make sure that you just come down to pick your passes, you eventually find that pass that eventually won't even see if you're trying to rush. But this man, Omoeko, trying to get a goal to save face.
Yeah, the consolation goal, but I don't think Overdose wants to give him that.
We Overdose be adding to this
onslaught.
Or will he be looking for more goals? Oh, what a trigger! Rafinha! Goal!
How did he miss that?
It looks like about to jinx that one. The goalkeeper was out of sight. I think he just waited at that moment and it took too long.
He could have picked any spot there and he will score. In one time.
He's lucky that he's currently 3 goals up.
And it's the second minute, so
it was a 1 goal difference. He would have been ruined that chance. Rafinha getting into space. Lewandowski offside in that moment. The Polish striker really got timing that one to not keep that man onside. Omoeko drinking water, trying to understand what has gone wrong for him. If you've noticed, a lot of the attacks have been coming off this side where Carvajal has been. Rafinha has been exploiting that space.
Exactly.
We're talking about Carvajal. We're talking about him not being too useful in the game with his height. Too many deficiencies when it comes to using Carvajal in this 95 rated mode. But Omoeko has been the one to suffer that onslaught from this man Overdose.
Well, hopefully he can rewatch what we're saying and at least get 1 or 2 information from him.
It's so important because these matches are uploaded. So from this one, if he's unable to go even qualify to the next round, he will go back home and watch these matches when they are uploaded and say, okay, this is what I did wrong. And eventually even gets me knocked out in this one. Oh, Rashford almost with a finesse shot in that point. But this one is over. Overdose Addicts winning this one 4-0 against Omoeko. The name is Omoeko, but it's no man. It looks like he doesn't own the land right here.